the elite group of black people, the boulets, and a lot of your top college educators and esteemed people that go to high levels of government is a gay fraternity.
Yes, it is.
And a gay civilization and society.
Tell it now.
That's reality. Now let me explain. The boule is a homosexual group. Now, Morehouse College down in Atlanta, they breed homosexuals. When those freshmen come in, they recruit them from all over the country. And they give them mentors, advisors, and they even got a fraternity. Now, Morehouse College is a all-male school.
Yes, it is.
But they got a fraternity that is a female sorority. So they got a male AKA and Delta. Which, you know, AKA and Delta is a black woman sorority. Mm-hmm. Well, over at Morehouse, they also have a male sorority underground called the AKAs and the Deltas. See what I'm saying? And it's a homosexual fraternity. It's underground. I know I spent damn 11 years in that area. So I went to those schools. I went to Clark, Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? So I know all about that area. And I know all about them black elite motherfuckers because I was one of them. See what I'm saying? So I know what go down because I'm not from the outside looking in. I'm from the inside looking out. So I know, based on me, hobnobbing with them niggas because I went to school there. See what I'm saying? So I know certain things. Now, let me show you this. They have these fraternities, the boule and all those particular people. In order for you to get to the higher levels of society, you gotta be a part of that shit and you gotta fuck somebody.
Yeah.
Then you wonder why niggas go from job to job and they get, and these people that you don't even like, they be so fucked up, but they tend to keep getting stuff and get richer and richer. That's true. You see what I'm saying? Because they be a part of that gay realm. See what I'm saying? Part of that gay realm. You see. So, when I first got to Clark, Atlanta, I went to a black school called Benedict in South Carolina. You know, you got Bennett, people mistake it's an all-girls school in North Carolina, but there's Benedict, a black college in South Carolina. But when I first got to Atlanta, they were saying the president of Benedict is Henry Ponder. I said, yeah. They said, well, we just, you know his daughter? I said, yeah, she was in high school when I was a freshman. They said, well, she later on came here to Spelman. And she said, the girl said, I was her roommate. I said, okay, yeah, I remember her. And she said, she was transferred or whatever happened. She said, you know, I used to hang with her. She said, you know, there's a big day here in Atlanta with college professors, CEOs for big business, corporate structures, elected officials, and all these people, black, elite black men from all over the country, fly into Atlanta on a sacred day and fuck each other. You might see anybody up in that shit. Bill Cosby, all kind of these niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, to show you how this shit goes, one of the biggest fighters in Hollywood is Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
You see, come to find out this. A lot of these black guys that marry these white women and have to go and get another white woman and another white woman. Y'all listen. Y'all be talking to each other while I'm saying stuff and you miss it. Listen, y'all gotta learn how to concentrate, man. Listen to what I'm saying. You see. These people when you see these things, I often wonder why it is that these people, the only ones that's making it, are these ones that's going interracial. Come to find out that's a damn code. Let me explain how it works. Prince Charles is a gay. So, after he got married to Diana to get the babies and all that kind of shit, he started going with this Camilla Parker Bowles who looked like a fucking man. And that's a code because his boyfriend says, if you're going to be with me, the next bitch you get, she better look like a fucking man. And that's a code they do. You see, that's the way they do things. All right. In Hollywood, a lot of these black men that get these white women, it's not because they want white women. Because after they leave one white woman, they got to go with the next and be on 2 and 3 white people. They get that person because that's a part of their game. And they want to get that white woman because that white woman will allow the lifestyle, and maybe somehow if they go and get a black woman from the hood, get a black woman from society, she might not be down with it. Right. See what I'm saying? So Cooper Gooding Jr., right, to a white woman, the motherfucker gay. Lenny Kravitz, gay. Tay Diggs, gay. See what I'm saying? You see? Check it out. Let's go on. Where's the science? Gay, naturally. Motherfucker made a gay movie. Eddie Murphy. Gay. He like Mexican men with big titties.
Yeah.
You see, this whole shit. LL Cool J.
No.
There you go. You know, a lot of black women died from AIDS in the fucking early 80s because of y'all mentality. When the AIDS was out here, we used to tell them sisters, that fine nigga is gay, and they wouldn't believe the shit. And a lot of sisters died from AIDS because you can't fathom, because you stuck in a fucking fantasy. You got an image of a fucking male and shit, you don't understand this goddamn shit. Why these motherfuckers beat your ass and they don't like you because they call down low male life.
Right.
You don't know the game what's going on. You'll get that if you better. All right? Don't shake your head when it comes to this shit. Your boy, Quincy Jones, is the godfather. So the first thing he does, he gives Fresh Prince Will Smith a show. Will Smith goes from rapper, TV star, movie star. You see, he quit his first wife. He get with Jada Pinkett because she accepts his lifestyle, because she went on Oprah saying, when I quit him, I'm going to lick on some pussy.
Yeah, she was not.
That's what she said on Oprah. Oprah said, oh, you don't want to do that. She said, nah, but you don't understand. So like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman was together because it was a gay thing. They both went both ways.
Yeah.
So in Hollywood, you get a wife that supports your lifestyle. So Fresh Prince, Will Smith hooked up with Jada, but he was also brought into this thing with Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones then hooks LL Cool J up. See what I'm saying? LL Cool J up. Your boy comes with mogul, big time gay guy, Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons. Your boy, your boy, Puff Daddy, Russell Simmons for him, and now he looking up motherfucker because he gay. You know what I'm saying? The godfather of the rap with Vibe magazine is Quincy Jones. So now you got Jay-Z, gay.
Yeah, they retired.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes, gay.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Gay. You see, Busta Rhymes. All these niggas is gay.
Straight. Huh? Right. Straight.
Well, now Denzel is straight, but Denzel says how he does it, how he operates. Denzel will make a movie. He'll go in for the premiere. He'll be seen on a couple of TV shows. He'll promote the movie, and then he gets out of Hollywood totally. You see what I'm saying? He gets out of Hollywood totally. He don't stick around. You see what I'm saying? He don't stick around. You see, just about everybody up in there.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Huh? Oh shit! You can be looking at me. Tap me, nigga. I don't know. Samuel L. Jackson. See what it is how this nigga here start. When them niggas get to be in their 40s, they become bigger stars than what they were in their 20s.
He was in Jungle Fever.
Morgan Freeman, all them niggas, it's a damn hookup. And when you go there, you gotta pay the piper. Now I had a friend from Milwaukee. I went to speak up in Milwaukee in '98, and it's a brother. He had a TV show called Being Frank with Frank James. He go on the TV show, cable access, and talk shit. And I said, well, how did you? He said, I was out in Hollywood. I went to Hollywood. He said, when I got out there the first week, I got commercials. He said, I got videos. He said, I was in a couple of TV shows. And the people say, people wait for years to get like this. He said they had him walking. He was in 2 movies had 2 speaking parts of the movies. He said, damn, people was like, goddamn, he ain't been out here a month. And then he get a call. And he said, you gotta go here. He get a call with some old ass Jew man wanting him to fuck him. And they was giving him these roles and giving him stuff real fast because they liked him. Some Jew had his eye on him. And he said he went to the airport and got on a plane and flew out of that motherfucker the same night, never went back. So there's some stuff going on out there. They don't spend millions of dollars on you because they like you.
Bruce Willis, what you think about him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, all of them was there. John Travolta.
All of them.
That's how Hollywood started.
Yeah, right. You don't get jacked in like that. Now, you can't have people that they can be such a box office draw like a Denzel, you know, but he sold out another way. Denzel is one of the few actors that got shot in his ass. That nigga got shot in his ass to get the Academy Award.
Yeah, he got that role to play.
No, they shot him in his ass for training day.
For real?
In year 2003, last year, it was this bass sister who was speaking. She was at a black conference or something that was going on at Harrisville College, and they had this dude in to speak because he's not a brother. He said that for black men to sleep around, they are not homosexuals. He's putting this illusion out there.
Now let me tell you what's going on here with this, so you can understand this. It's called the down low male. Now understand the down low male. They got a new shit now. They get ready to give an umbrella under both male and female. They call metrosexuals.
Yeah.
A metrosexual is a motherfucker. He's not gay, but he's not straight. He's not too male, he's not too female. It's called metrosexual.
Right.
Metrosexual, that's the new shit and what they're trying to get the man to go to. I gotta understand this shit. Now, how this shit is. That's what your Hollywood man is. He's a metrosexual. He's not too masculine, not too feminine, he's metrosexual. Now, I knew this shit was going this way because, you know, Atlanta is a bastion of black, it's like the capital of black homosexuality.
Yep.
Atlanta. I'm sitting up in the goddamn art class this back in 1987. I'm in an art class. I was designing shoes and doing the art shit. My brother said, yeah. He said, what I want to design is a masculine skirt for males. Trying to pump this shit. This damn was 17 years ago.
Shit.
Looking at this motherfucker, man. I want a masculine skirt for males. Looking at this damn nigga here, say, you out your fucking mind, nigga. Now, the metrosexual, that's what they say they do. They're designing clothes. They'll even wear skirts. See what I'm saying? You see, that's it's called metrosexual. Now, the down low male is a black man that you probably had in your bed and you didn't know it. He's a black man who don't really like you. Something about he don't like you. He is from a culture that he wouldn't dare be an open homosexual. Okay? So based on his culture, in his mind, he says he's not homosexual.
Right.
He says if I'm going to fuck a man in the ass, that's an act. Like going to play golf. Or like going skiing. Don't necessarily mean I'm gay. So they get a wife, children, and all of that.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they go, and every now and then they got to go and get some dookie love. Or go down the Hershey Highway.
Okay.
And they say, well, every now and then I do that, but I'm not homosexual. That's like going skiing.
Yep, that's no illusion.
See what I'm saying? That's called a down low male. Real big in the black community. Meanwhile, the sister can't understand why this motherfucker, everything that she says is white, he says black.
Right.
If he says light, she says dark, he says it's light. And he counter her at every turn is because he's a down low male. And he don't really like her. And she never can figure out why. She goes to all the psychological shit, and she's saying men ain't this and men ain't that, and it's got something to do with down low males. And he would get out the bed when a brother would come by. A brother would come by. And early in the morning, and do anything for that brother. But she asked me to do some shit, motherfucker raise all kind of hell. Let me explain this shit to you, because this what's going down. The hip-hop industry is designed off of this. Now hear me and hear me good. In the hip-hop industry that the white boy has fashioned since the early 90s, your homeboy is much more respected and revered than your woman. Your woman is a bitch and a hoe.
So what that push?
But your homies is revealed. Now I know what I'm talking about, because some brothers stepped to me in Trenton, New Jersey. They said, man, this is a 96. They said, we believe they're turning our boys into gay. He said, we don't have our 5 hour partners be gay all of a sudden. You don't know what the fuck going on. Remember I tell you about the core center? And how they can damn mind control your ass? And they can put what they want up in there?
Yeah.
Well, part of it is when you're watching TV, behind them frames, they're showing dicks going in asses of men. And they're constant subliminal seduction in the movies and shit like that. You see in gay shit. And if a goddamn dick look like a hot dog to your ass, or a piece of sausage to a man, and he looking at that shit like he hungry, and he don't know why. Because he don't watch some shit on the goddamn TV. This shit is powerful. Meanwhile, in the rap video, behind the rap video, see, let me explain something to y'all. When they came out with DVD, they proved to you that you can have 5 or 6 things going on a disc.
Yeah.
While you're watching one thing. The DVD will have the widescreen version, the edited version, short version. They have all this on one disc. These things are overlaid on top of each other. What you don't realize based on the technology, you see all that motherfucking shit at one time subconsciously. So they can take a movie and show you a movie, and the whole movie be a movie on niggas fucking niggas. But yet it can be goddamn Disney's Haunted Palace.
That's right.
Or Soul Food. Or the latest rap video. See what I'm saying? Now, I know for a fact, now let me tell you now, I'm telling you what I'm talking about. Now y'all listen to me, because the problem here is we don't research shit. Now I'm up in that AU, so there's 5 black colleges. I go over there, and there's brothers, they in their late 20s and early 30s. I'm in my early 40s, so I'm like a decade before them. And I come out of a time, you see what I'm saying, I was in high school in the 70s. So I came out of a time where, you know, when I was in college, they go, oh man, I really like you, that brother, that's really cool. But the niggas go, yeah, but he ain't fucking nothing. That was your rites of passage.
Right.
They were like, he cool, that nigga scared of pussy. I'm just telling you the way the shit goes. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause all this shit is metaphysical, because this is why you get fucked up.
Yes.
Because you got to listen to this thing. I go to the AU Center. I got some friends over there, 10 years younger than me. They're just not getting in their 30s. So in 99, I would come over there, and we'd all go to lunch. I noticed something about 3 months into doing it, because I'm actually intruding in their shit. Because they're younger than me, so this is their little crew, but I know a couple of these brothers. You see what I'm saying? So I go over there because I know these brothers, so I'm actually being a part of their shit. Understand what I'm saying? So I've noticed I'm analyzing this shit. In about 3 months, I say, you know, I come over and I kick with you all every couple of days. You know, I don't go all the time, but I go like once a week or twice a week over and go to lunch with them. I said, I noticed something that y'all, the whole 3 months we've been going to lunch, there ain't been one fucking female. It's just a whole other culture. Then I noticed that the boys over there, based on the rap, they hang on one side of the street by themselves, and the sisters hang on the other side of the street.
Right on.
And the guys got on too much clothes, and the sisters got on no clothes. And these guys don't even, and these some of the most beautiful women in the world. I said, shit. Every 5 seconds you just seeing something like, where the fuck did you come out of? What cave you came out of? You must was born in the mat shop. The hell going on? Beautiful. From the blackest to the lightest to like anything you want. And these guys, these beautiful girls, and they're interfacing, and it's almost like these girls are not even being noticed. It's all about their boys. And I'm like, wait a minute, this culture's changed here. What the fuck is going on here?
Would that be the same as, because this was kind of recently, I was at work and I was arguing with a couple, well not necessarily arguing, but debating, because they were talking about this new Nelly video called Tip Drill. I say, that's awfully funny. When I saw the video, I see all the women with women and the men standing up partying.
That's right.
I say, what's really going on? What message is he really trying to say?
That's right.
And nobody couldn't say anything. You know, I'm like, that's what I thought.
And the woman can only be seen as an object. She can never be seen as in camaraderie with that male. And if she's in camaraderie, she's a Missy Elliott who's
A diet.
a dyke. Before that, it was Lucy Life. You understand what I'm saying? You got to understand how this thing goes. And why is it that the top female rapper, and ain't got but one now, you see what I'm saying, is that way, and in so many words, when you really look at Lil' Kim, what is she actually saying?
She wants to fix something.
You don't see it with no man.
Right. So my point here, what I'm trying to tell you here is, this shit here, they can breed a culture. And I be looking, I be like, damn, I'm sitting up here observing this, because I'm like, coming to a new dimension. Because our whole, when I was in school was, get up on the babes.
That's right.
Number one shit.
That's right.
When the day we get up,
That's
we
right.
trying to get up on the damn babes.
That's right. Now you go to sleep.
Now time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
We thought one thing.
That's right.
Look at them honeys. We had a house called a honeycomb hideout. Honeycomb hideout. And they had a nigga named Doug Lyons. He was 6'6". And he had, this was in the 80s. He had been there since 77. After he flunked out, he got a job in the cafeteria. Mixing Kool-Aid. How many Kool-Aid can take the feasibility college? 27 bags. He knew that shit down to a T. And that shit was never off. That's right. But this nigga became my roommate, and I saw him with a different woman every night for an entire year. Every night, a different woman. And they messed around, and he became my roommate, and they put in the school newspaper, because that nigga was there, to stay away from the Honeycomb hideout. That was just like saying, everybody come. Right. But once they put that shit in the Honeycomb hideout, and we was the Honeycomb boys, shoot, we had women. We would come in the damn house. The first thing we do is take all the chairs and throw them out the window so they got to sit on the bed. I go to the paper, when no cell phones, I go to the paper and call, they say, yo man, take the chairs and throw them out the window. You see what I'm saying? Or take them out the back door, because we got to sit on the beds. Then I had that wrestler who would take that forearm and hit that neck, and do like this. But that was a part of the culture. So that was a part of the culture. Now I'm trying to say now, this shit here is about, everybody's got their rhymes, and they are separate from the sisters, and the sisters be right there. And that's a culture. And not only that, but see, there's subliminal seduction up under those things. That's why Jay-Z is gay. You see what I'm saying? Red Man and Method Man gay. I don't know.
So you think 50 Cent and Vivica Fox is just Hollywood?
That's all, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas, you see what I'm saying? Some shit that's going down. There's some shit that's going down. Tupac Shakur. Yep. Tupac was gay.
No.
Yep. Y'all mythologize these niggas. Yeah.
Do you think that we can start it as for Nelly, because he's like a really big thing, you know? Now,
anybody that got big is for a reason. One got to step down. Jay-Z was the hot shit. Now he retired, and now it's 50 Cent. Or Nelly. See, it's some stuff that's going on, but you got to understand what's going down here. You see, it's subliminal seduction. Now I know this because from 1980 to 1988, I lived on a college campus and shit. Then I was gonna get my damn, I was gonna get my pension. I retired for that shit. So for 8 years I lived on there, and it wasn't because I was going to school all the time. Hell, I take what, 12 hours enough to qualify so I can get 3 meals a day. 2 hots and a cot. Now, I saw nothing but black women the whole 8 years. Now I remember I was going to New York because I had to go to New York and get my shoes and do the shoe design thing. And I was going to New York because the guy called me and said, you got to pull these shoes off the order, we're going to pay you. And so I was hooking up all this shit here, and I had to go home for a month to South Carolina. So the month I just chilled and just watched cable TV. And at the end of that month, after almost 8 years, I start desiring, white women started becoming attractive again. And I understood what it was. It was watching that fucking TV. And see, normally I wouldn't have been able to detect it if I watched TV from 18, you see what I'm saying, to 27 or something like that. But because I didn't watch TV all those years, I could detect it. I could see this thing that's going on. So we talk about some mind control and subliminal seduction. You see what I'm saying?
How does that affect the girls?
Huh? Well, one thing it also does is it makes them, see, one of the keys to stopping the flow of the feminine energy is to keep the sister always in a state of frustration. that they can shut down a certain amount of feminine energy. And we're talking about the masses. And then the only husband they'll ever get is when they go to church with Jesus Christ. So it's always to keep her in a flux of frustration. That's how you lock down the planet, by keeping the original Eve in a state of frustration. You see what I'm saying? And she not knowing what the hell is going on. You see? And there's some wild stuff that's going on. It's just very interesting. I just wanted to go through that stuff tonight because it's very key on how this thing is. Y'all all right? Yeah. When you want to take the break? You want to take a break, or when you want to do? What you want to do?
Yeah, let's take about 15.
Huh?
Take about 15 minutes.
Yes, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take about 15 minutes.
All right.
Come back. Go keep the whole time. Yeah. Now also, we on?
We on.
All right. It's interesting here because this is interesting because remember I was talking about the gay thing before we left out. But it is interesting that I've been seeing these observations since the early 90s. Whereas your black studies section, Barnes and Nobles and Waters, will be right next to the gay and lesbian section. Your black studies section in Barnes and Nobles, Waters, in any national bookstore, on a chain bookstore, will be right next to the gay and lesbian studies. See, it's one thing if you had a bookstore that decided to do that, it could have been a random thing they did, but when all your major chains do it, that's a conspiracy.
Right.
And when all your local chains do it, that's a conspiracy. Where the gay and lesbian section, the black section will be right next to it, and sometimes they make sure that the books in the black section overlap into the gay and lesbian section. Barnes and Nobles, the gay and lesbian section is next to the black studies section. Borders, the gay and lesbian section is next to the black studies section. And local bookstores around the country. That's a conspiracy. So in actuality, this whole thing, what I said that they would do with subliminal seduction, you see what I'm saying? With subliminal seduction, they've been planning this thing for years, you see. A couple other things are getting ready to happen. I was in Kansas City. There was a brother that was walking around the street that had killed 7 black men. Had killed 7 black people, but he was out. He walked around the street for most of the summer of 2002, and by August, a whole family in Kansas City, Missouri, the whole family ends up dead. And the last people to see the people that was next, the last person they saw that was hanging around the family was this guy who was walking around that killed 7 black people. Okay? Now what we know is these people are assassins, or killers, or clones that they put in the community to kill black people and to keep a certain things going that they can do when they want to police a community and they want to start something. They do a lot of things like that. Now this is interesting because this guy was walking around killing people, and I said in the spring of the year, I said that's a government agent or a clone. Then when all the family ends up dead, you see what I'm saying, then they lock him back up for a minute. So they put him out there for a certain thing. Now it's interesting because this happened, and I see a movie called Dark Blue with Kurt Russell, and they got these guys, they put a black guy and a white guy, they run around killing people for the chief of police. And he told them to get out of town and go to Vegas or KC, Kansas City. in the movement. You see. Now I know this happens because in October, they announced in Atlanta. Now understand the difference here. I'm not one of these niggas talking about, black people need to be all in prison and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about something totally different. I'm talking about a government sting or a government conspiracy. This is different than talking about lock up people for state. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about government assassins. They had a group of people in October. They said they was going to let out a couple of 100 black men on the street. And they was not going to give them no probation. So once they got out, they didn't have to report to no probation officer, which would be nice, but when they check these guys' background, most of the people that they was in jail for killing was middle-aged to elderly black women. See what I'm saying? And these are the ones that they were let out to give no probation. It's almost like a job well done, or you are an assassin. So here's the people that they checked their rap sheet, and everybody they killed was black women from 40 plus. And they letting about 100 of them out with no probation. You see what I'm saying? Because that means that they're working for the government. And they need a certain element of crime to come in, because the white people probably want to take back a certain community, and they got to have the crime to come in and drive down the cost, so white people can come in and buy cheap.
Yeah.
They built the Georgia Dome down in Atlanta. When they decided they was going to build the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, they decided they was going to build it. They did the same thing back in 1988. They let a group put a bunch of brothers out on the street, no probation, about 200 of them, let them out of prison. Then, all of a sudden, the area by the city where they're building the Georgia Dome and they needed parking for the area across the street, which was a black neighborhood. They came in and they bought up the neighborhood, but old people wouldn't sell their homes because they don't need money. You know what I'm saying? So what they started doing, all of a sudden, old people in the black neighborhood started coming down dead. And this is to make those older people, these elderly people's children panic and come in and move their parents out. You see what I'm saying? So they will create the crimes and do what the hell they got to do. Now, all over the country, we know since the early 90s they've been trying to take back the black community because white folks did so much white flight until now it's taking some of these crackers 2 hours a day to commute to work and 2 hours back. Some of these crackers are staying on the road 2 hours, 4 hours a day just to go to work because they don't move so far out. So everywhere you go, the dumb part about it is the stupid niggas is moving way out with them, and they coming back in and getting the shit. And all these black neighborhoods are not going white. So they have to put the crime and stuff down, and so now all of a sudden, they just do another 150 brothers out on the street in Atlanta in October with no probation. You see what I'm saying? And you must ask yourself, why would they do that? Because these are killers and assassins. They come in the community and they prey on black people. Now they said they had records of only killing elderly black women and black women in their early 40s, or someone who's established in a certain community fact, because let's face it, black women are the ones that's the more upward mobile in the community than anybody. You see what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily, even in a poor community, the black one maintains. So they got to come up in there and they got to kill some sisters You see what I'm saying? To get the war zone going. Now that's one aspect based on how they want to take back communities. Because white folks is tired of being on the highway every day. That's one aspect. This is the other aspect. The other aspect is the same guy who was the police chief under Giuliani, as they say, the dictatorship of Giuliani up in New York City. That's the one who, under this guy's direction, Louima was plunged up the butt. That was the Haitian. And your boy, Amadou Diallo, was shot 40-something times. 41 times. Now this guy, the same guy, he goes and he becomes the chief of the LA Police Department. And the first thing he says, I'm going after the gangs. People's like, gangs? We ain't had no real gang activity since the mid-90s. What are you talking about? Going after the gangs. This was last Christmas of 2002. They was like, gangs? We ain't had no Crips and Bloods doing no shit since the mid-90s. I'm going after the gangs. Now, meanwhile, the Crips and Bloods was put together at Pepperdine University by the United States government.
All right now.
See, government agents.
That's right.
Now, follow me where I'm going with this. So that means they can activate the war zone anytime they want to, because these are paid agents to go in and start shooting up the place. So, Christmas, this Giuliani boy talking about the gang before the gang is killing anybody. And in the spring of the year, they start shooting up the place. On a small scale, but they start doing it. Alright? Now this is where this shit is going. Then, the black preachers and black niggas that they done, Uncle Tom niggas, Boule niggas and shit that they paid, say they're going over to Iraq. They're going over to Iraq to fight against terrorism. But we got terrorism here in our own backyards. My point here is, they was killing niggas every hour in the early 90s, and you didn't call them terrorists. See where I'm going with this shit?
That's right.
Because we know this 9/11 shit. I told the people in 2001, this thing gonna end up in our backyard. This is about us.
That's right.
It ain't about no Arabs. And all of a sudden, these Negro leaders start calling gang members terrorists. Okay? Then in Atlanta, where they don't even have no gangs, they just start calling regular violent murders or skirmish in the black community terrorism. All of the guys of Homeland Security to lock you down. And the only thing they got to do is classify you. Everything in this country is based on classification. You know what I'm saying? Somebody classified you as African American 10, 11 years ago, and now it's a part of your language. Before it was just black, which made you a greater force, but that means you included the Caribbean, Brazil, and Africa by being black. See what I'm saying? You see, so they had to stop that. So they can classify you. So already they are now classifying, because they got Homeland Security. Homeland Security is not locking down foreigners. It's locking down Americans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So if it's locking down Americans, somebody got to serve as the terrorist inside America. You understand what I'm saying? And ain't enough Arabs in the population for them to be worried about. You see what I'm saying? Arabs are not in Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana. You know. So they got to classify you as terrorists. Now, what was gang activity this summer, now they are just classifying terrorists as any black man that gets aggressive. He's a terrorist. What's that, sister?
They had a recent big bust of some white boys that had all kind of bombs and guns and things. They kept it really low profile though, because I heard about it in the trial stage, but I hadn't heard anything about it in the, but the interesting thing to me is that when it's a white supremacist, they call them domestic terrorists.
Yeah. Now let me explain this to you, what's going on. I need to put this on there. First of all, it's all under the same thing. They first started, and it's on some of my tapes, they first started by saying hip-hop, the sounds of terrorism. Now remember now, your boy, when the Taliban nigga, the white boy that got caught in the Taliban, face all black, looked like a damn mud puppet or whatever. The first thing they said, and I knew it was coming, when they said he got caught in the Taliban, the next thing they said was he was inspired by Malcolm, he was inspired by rap music, which introduced him to Malcolm X, and Malcolm X introduced him to the mosque, and the mosque introduced his ass to the Taliban. I said, there you go. And then we get this rap music, hip-hop, the sounds of terrorism. You see, the sounds of terrorism. And they are saying that the Washington, D.C. area shooting Negroes provided America with the first solid link as to the strong connection between rap music and terrorist groups. John Lee Malvo, and other pro-Muslim killer, was apparently sympathetic to Al-Qaeda murder. Niggas can't even spell Al-Qaeda. Including their vile 9/11 war against America. Now come on now. We know our people. We can't even spell fucking Al-Qaeda. Anywhere in hell, we're going to look on some TV and see what an Arab does and copy this shit. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And they went on to talk about it because of the group, one of Wu-Tang groups, Killer Army.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Talking about Killer Army, and they even went with saying Ja Rule and other ones that's opposed to this stuff here and help ban rap because it's fucking up our kids and turning them into terrorists. They always put the little white kids as threats. What's that, brother?
Ice Cube, terrorist threat, that West Side Connection. They just came up with one called terrorist threat.
Well, see, I would put him a part of the conspiracy too. Why would he even do that? And this nigga here, remember that nigga having one of the most conscious CDs ever came out in 2001 or in 91, and now that nigga there straight up sell out.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube and you know, and Ice-T and all, and you know, it was Ice-T.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, right. Then Ice-T, you know, he put out Cop Killer. And all this stuff, they ever reversed this shit.
And he played a cop.
Now, every time you see him, he playing a damn cop. Yeah. So, here goes again. They putting this terrorist thing, including the whole John Muhammad thing that went down. You see what I'm saying? So, here goes again. They are socializing this thing and situating this thing around to us. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's the other thing. Two things we got to watch out for. And we'll see what happens in this area, you can tell me what's going down. I got, when I was up in New York, the brothers, in the spring of the year, the brothers was like saying, yo, I got to quit my job. I said, why? He said, because I can get my check garnished here. And I said, why? He said, well, apparently I got to pay back welfare for some children I had in the 1980s. And they have taken it, and Bill Clinton signed this law in where they took the welfare and they put it into the Department of the Deadbeat Dad Child Support Laws. And the same child support laws would mete out the justice and where you didn't pay child support and you get locked up, you don't pay back this welfare, they come and lock you up. So he's got to pay, he said, so they're going to steal my check. And I'm bringing home like damn near $150 after all they take out for welfare. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on, man. I thought that welfare was an assistance on aid. You know what I'm saying? That's aid. That's not a loan. That's aid. And the first thing I asked him was, he said, they got niggas down there. He said, well, all black men it back. And I said, well, any white folks? He said, they're in another system. I said, but correct me if I'm wrong, the statistics say that there were more white folks on welfare than black folks.
Right.
And the reason there are more of them in this country. And I said, you don't see no white folks paying it back? He said, only blacks. So, I said, that's kind of strange. If it's a grant or an aid or an assistance, that's not made to pay back. So how can you take something that's aid or assistance and turn it into a loan? You see, turn it into a loan. And then the whole thing comes out based on this. And that is that the white man don't have to pay it back. It was an aid, assistance to him. But because black men and black people are not American citizens, it becomes a loan. Understand the mystery here. Because they're explaining in this whole act, they're unraveling who you are. The white man, when they put this welfare bill down for assistance or aid to American citizens, you understand what I'm saying? The white man under that law don't have to pay it back because it's in his inalienable right as a citizen to get aid from his government when they pass an act to give out aid. But because black people are not citizens and there was never a congressional act to make us citizens under the United States government, when it came down to black people, they say, look, you have to pay it back. Because just like third world countries and other things, when they loan their money, they become in debt to the United States government.
Right.
So, since you are not a citizen, because the Emancipation Proclamation only freed us from chattel slavery. It did not make us citizens. There was never a congressional act to make us a citizen, just like there was never a congressional act to make people in America pay income tax. You see? So, for the mere fact, you are not a citizen, you got to pay back welfare. He said, we don't pay it back because they have not put it under the child support laws, we go to jail. Now, some people say, well, damn, now, wait a minute, hold on, Bobby, wait a minute, hold on now. We get to vote. We get to do everything that the citizens do. I say, yes, you do. But you must understand the difference. You got to go and get the movie Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Which was a book that came out in 1958. What? The movie came out in 1997. The book came out in 1958. And in the movie or the book Starship Troopers, they say this world of this particular government is broken down into two classes: citizens or civilians. And what is the difference between a citizen? A citizen has the inalienable right as a citizen to get what the government gives it, because it's by the people, for the people, or of the people, so-called. We know that that's a lie too. But a civilian always will have to have something given to them. So therefore it can always be taken away. Now what's the difference? You saying, wait a minute, you're still telling me, how is it that what's the difference? How is it that we can have the same things as citizens? We vote, we do this, we pay taxes, we do this, we do all of that. How do we do the same thing? What's the difference? The difference is they have a right based on their law, and you have what is called, and understand the difference, you have what is called privileges. A privilege means they can have a congressional act to make you privileged to citizenship. And the process of what goes on into citizenship. But because it's a privilege, it can be revoked at any time when they see fit. And that is the difference.
For the need of the government.
Right. When they was ready for you to pay welfare back, the black man, you got to pay it back. Which means they got some people was in jail in the 70s. And some people was in jail in the 80s. And the daughters now is 23 years old. And they just got out there 20 years and now they got to pay back welfare. You see. Now it goes even worse because in some states, like South Carolina, they're making the woman pay it back. You see. So watch the fuck out. Because depending on what state, they got enough niggas locked up in this state, you sisters might have to pay back welfare.
Right.
And they garnish your check. And if you don't pay, you go to jail. So these brothers, what they have to do, you got to pay something. So if you're not working, you got to pay $25 a week. So what these brothers do, they got to go and get on the street and become creative and hustle their own type of income, because if they work in the system, they're getting garnished up the ass. And it's to the point where as long as you owe the government, it's just like any default loan, you can't get no house, you can't get no nothing.
Like those student loans.
And all, yeah. So it's still showing you how this cracker is dealing. Now, on the other hand, this still makes us sovereign. Because you are a sovereign nation, because you're a nation or you're a people without a country. See what I'm saying? I'm just saying line up on the, say we are a spiritual government. You see what I'm saying? A spiritual government, because I'm going to tell you right now, because you all, the white man, because you're going to get these Moors telling you all that yin-yang shit. And I'll challenge you right now with that bullshit. You got to be a fucking idiot to think, because you tell the cracker you a Moor, and he's going to respect you. Know this. This white man don't respect nothing but a standing army. And you ain't got one. And that is the criteria. See what I'm saying? That's all he respects. And it's got to be the kind of standing army like China, where you can kill 1 million soldiers, step over the 1 million soldiers, and still have 10 million to fight. The other thing he respects is some show enough magic that he know will get on his ass and fuck him up. And you better not be coming with no peace and love bullshit. And no light side. Because that's when you're going to get your ass killed. What's that?
Can you talk a little bit about what you discussed last night about the weapons not being able to fire and bombs going on?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about here when it comes to the spiritual government. See? The atmosphere is changing. I've already explained that it's changed in my house. Already. And my house is being set up as a microcosm of a miniature little extraterrestrial government based on experiments, you see what I'm saying, But in so many words, what it's also talking about is giving me an indication of what's going on in the greater terrain. Shit is changing. You know what I'm saying? We knew the atmosphere was changing when them sharks start biting off motherfuckers' legs a week before 9/11. See what I'm saying? And for the first time in history, they start biting off niggas' legs.
Yes.
Because black people, based on the energy, they can't tell the difference with these dead black people out there, whether they're white or black. They done mauled themselves so much into European culture. You see what I'm saying? So on one hand, these things are changing. You see what I'm saying? Now, they had 2 eclipses in November. One celestial lineup. You had Mars, the closest it's been. All this stuff went down in 93. You had Nibiru hit the planet on May 15th, the same day that the Matrix came out, the Matrix reloaded. But when the Nibiru hit, the white ball was looking for a physical substance, and 7 goddesses came back. So that's fucked up for him because it's something he can't use. Because he was looking for something physical. But 7 goddesses came back.